Hello and welcome to another update video about LINK. LINK is probably in the late stages of this correction, I'd say. Probably in the late stages. I bought a little LINK today. Also activated a grid bot, which I sometimes like to do with LINK. I could in theory have many more grid bots run, but honestly I'm sometimes also just lazy. But yeah, I love doing the grid bots with LINK because LINK is so choppy all the time. But because the next rally should take us, not will, but should take us to $90 plus, yeah, in the next rally, which would be the third wave, okay? I think it makes sense to at least start adding a little bit in this region now that we've reached the support range, and I think we are either we've either completed the correction or we are close to the low. That's all I can say. We know that it's often too late when the prices have already turned, unless you want to buy for like 10, 20, 30% higher. Therefore, I sometimes like to buy the dip, but not without a plan, obviously with clear parameters, ideally when the support regions have been reached. Sometimes they turn early, sometimes I don't want to accept that and I buy a little earlier. But in this case, we've reached the 38.2 retracement, which is a good place for a bounce, at least from this region. And also we've reached the area around the previous wave 4 low, which is generally a good place for a wave 2 to complete. And the third wave rally to the upside could start to unfold from here. And I shared it with you in the recent videos. You know, if the third wave really starts to unfold from here, then, I mean, we can measure that, take the length of that wave 1. And it was an impressive rally. It was. I mean, and then people told me LINK didn't do well, but it did rally from $5 to 23. It's pretty good. And therefore, the next upside targets will also be quite extended. The third wave rally, I mean, it should take it. Yeah, what did I say here? 81 is the bare minimum, but probably more around the $90 mark. 90 to 100. That would be just the third wave. I need to actually move that a bit higher now. Third wave. Yeah, basically a little bit like that. And obviously, bearish scenario is possible, but we are above support, way above support. The main support level is $6.90. And as long as we're holding that, there is no reason to, let's say, focus on something more bearish. It also tells us, though, should there be another dip? I mean, technically, we have to give LINK space all the way down to 690. I can't really recognize a clear bottoming structure yet. But I note that the decline is slowing down. And we might get one more low, in which case I'll add a bit more. But it hasn't bottomed yet. At least it's not evident. If it is bottomed, then fine. But it's not evident. But we know that cryptos sometimes start to rally, and that's all you have to manage that uncertainty on the micro level with tactics. So we know that cryptos, when they start the move up, they often start from very ugly structures. Very ugly structures. That's to a degree. That depends on the correlation with Bitcoin for sure. And therefore, you know, you never know if they bottomed really. We can only look at the structure and say, okay, maybe it gets one more low, maybe not. So if I want to get a good price, it might make sense to add a little bit. But we can't really be more aggressive until we have an established low. And then you can set a tight stop loss. The thing is, when they then start to move, obviously, they can move very quickly. We've seen it so many times. So it's that balance that every trader needs to decide for themselves. So if I say I started adding, doesn't mean it's the right thing for you to do. If you can't take the heat, should the price go down lower, for example, to 1068, 892 or 690, and you can only play around with position size in a wise way to manage that. Okay, so again, we have certain degree of uncertainty in the markets. With Elliott waves, we can reduce that level of uncertainty, not eliminate it, and the residual uncertainty you can manage with tactics. That's sort of how I see this. But how these tactics are applied, that depends on you and your individual situation. I always say what I like to do, but yeah, I think and a good mix with a trading bot is nice on the LINK chart. But yeah, so it's done what it needs to do. If we go to the micro level here to the 1 hour chart, then we can see actually that in this WXY pattern that I'm tracking, the Y wave is an ABC and the C wave could get one more low. And this here, whatever happens here, that could form a triangle. You know, the wave 4 might be an ABCDE triangle. It's certainly a first rally is an ABC. So multiple options here. If this is an ABC, it could be the first wave of a triangle, which will develop like this and then drop. It could also be that this B wave has started to unfold for the alternative wave 2 correction, and then we do this ABC, could form a larger A then we do a B wave pullback, and we get a C wave rally from there. Even here, it might make sense when adding here to take some profits in this region, I don't know, around $20, maybe a little lower, in case we go down again. So it overall seems an interesting spot to add, because even if a triangle forms, it would be, so even if a triangle forms, they are not the last waves of a cycle, but second to last. So we know that probably the next one would be the last one. If it rallies from here, it could be a B wave rally, maybe something more bullish, but even if it's just a B wave, it might be worth for, taking profits. So that's sort of my thoughts. Be strategic about it. Not so much the question of is it going up or down, more about, okay, it could still this, it could still do this, it could still do that. Have an answer for both from a technical point of view and from a tactical point of view, not only tactical point of view. Yeah, and so I gave you upside targets, gave you the next support levels, highlighted my thoughts about structure. That's all you need, I think. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.